Hey guys, welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery. Don here, where I'm trying to help you get your practice to the $1,000,000 mark. And if you want to learn more, go to Podiatry Practice Mastery. Get my free training there, and there's some other stuff that can help you there. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Today I'm going to talk about the 20% of activities that produce 80% of the results. So this is based on the whole idea of the 80-20 rule. And if you haven't ever just sat and thought about this, I think this is something good to do, something I'm doing recently. I'm kind of keeping a focus for the week, and anytime I have some free journal time, like in my agenda, I'm working this week on improving the amount of Swift I do and different ideas for Swift. And so basically I just write down on the top of the page like Swift ideas, and then I'll kind of brainstorm different ideas, and I kind of try to relate it to other things that I'm doing, trying to relate it to Shockwave or trying to relate it to other types of ideas, and they all kind of go on. I'm going to be putting together a kind of a Swift, I don't know, master class or Swift, something like that, just to help everyone kind of get to the front of the line to make it a little bit easier to get doing more Swift. But these 20% of these activities, as I was thinking about it, I was just thinking, a lot of times we try to do a lot of things and we don't evaluate if those things are really working. And there's really only a few things that are I'm really like seeing the results in the practice. And I think a lot of the other stuff is busy work, and I'm not really seeing it. So the idea is to cut off the busy work and start doing more of the things that work. So I'm going to go and share these things. So I think the number one thing, the one activity that I'm actually doing that's really kind of bringing in results in the practice is I do a weekly email newsletter. And this is something that I've been doing for quite a while. But this newsletter is a little bit different. It's not purely educational. I know a lot of these are like templated things that are educational. This is mostly based on entertainment, meaning I'm sharing a story to the patients or whoever's reading it about my family, or about like what's going on with one of the other docs, or things like that. So it tends to be more entertaining and engaging, and because of that, they open it up. Versus like this is plantar fasciitis, or this is Shockwave, or this is something else. I do talk a little bit about that, but my main focus is on entertaining them. So having something that's fun to read or interesting to read, telling stories. Like recently, with our kids, we got these new shoes from Zero, Xero, those Zero like anatomic shoes for our kids. They're 8 and 9, and they've never worn like a pair of Nike, so they've always been in anatomic shoes. And in the box, it had some neat ideas of what to do with this box, their shoe box. And one thing it said was bury your old shoes. So we took the old shoes that they had. Now these shoes were just all ripped in the front, and my boy, it was just like all, I don't know how we destroyed them in the front of them. And so we put duct tape around, the black duct tape. And then when he went to school, his teacher ended up doing red duct tape on them. So he had red duct tape going around these shoes. And I'm like all embarrassed with these shoes. And we finally got him some new shoes. But he didn't want to throw the things away. So we ended up doing a burial for them. So we brought them outside, put a hole in the ground, and buried the shoes. So that's just an example of a story. Like in my life, these are little stories. These are just things that happen to you that make putting them in a little newsletter pretty easy. So what I tend to do is I use my notes on my phone, and as I'm driving, I will dictate the story, and then I'll take that story and I'll put it into. So I use WhatsApp. There's like a Chat GPT, or like a, I don't know, what's AI type of thing in there, and I say, can you read? And I have some prompts written as well in my notes. So a prompt is like what you want the AI thing to do, and so I just say, can you rewrite this like as if it's a newsletter that I'm going to send out? And so they take the same story that I'm ranting on for paragraphs, and it'll put it into paragraph format, and I put that into my newsletter. So that's how I do my entertaining story. And then other things that I put in there, I might kind of re-put in like a post that we do for one of the other doctors. I might talk about one of my high revenue producing things in the office that I'm interested in talking about. So I might do a competition for adding people to one of our social media. So things like that afterwards. But the main part is the story, and that's what they really like, and that's what the reason I know that's what the patients comment on. So that's really the most fun thing that I do. The part I don't like doing is I don't like putting it into my email template and adding the images and like sending it out. So the way I put it is actually in something called Notion. So if you're not familiar with Notion, it's like almost like an Evernote. It's called Notion. It has this format where you can use a calendar, and then in this calendar I pretty much pick a day of the week that I send it out, which is Wednesday, and you can categorize it by a tag if you're doing, needs to review, and done. And so it's in there, and I write it in Notion, a little page, and I put in the wording, and I kind of have this format template that I use. If anyone's interested in it, let me know. I'll give you my template. But and then like what I would like to do is getting a virtual assistant that would then take the template from Notion that could give them access, and they would copy and paste that into the email newsletter, which is kind of the pain for me, is that email newsletter, because you have to copy and paste it and make it look good and make sure it looks good when you send it. It's just stuff I don't like. So but we're talking about the 80 things, 20% that give results. So that's number one. Number two thing that gives results is we have this, like, that's a TV program, like on our like waiting room TV, where we put in ads, where we like put in, like, I don't know, weather and stuff like that. Then you can also put in ads about Shockwave. You can put in ads about Swift. You can put in ads, just little videos you can put in with that. So that's working, because patients say, oh, I saw a Swift or Shockwave in your little TV monitor thing in the room. So that's a kind of an easy way to do it, and it's kind of a neat program that you can do. It's like something on your computer, and it runs it, I think, via Wi-Fi or something like that to your TV. So that one, the reason that works, I think, is because it's automatic. So the rest of these other things are like kind of automatic things. The first one I had to do work for, but everything I like that brings in business can kind of be done by others and could be automated. Another thing that works is we give a thank you gift to our patients. So after they like get orthotics, or they do, let's say, amnio, or a finished Shockwave, we give them a little gift. So we give gifts to people that we want to incentivize to have more of those patients. So orthotic patients, and then high revenue producing patients. And what's in this little gift? It's basically a little water bottle, probably a shoehorn, maybe a pair of socks. We give. And then there's also a letter in there, and this is a letter that says, hey, thanks for coming in. We're always taking referrals. Please refer your friends and family, and here are some of the other things that we do, because if they're there for one thing, they don't think you do anything else. So that's another thing that works. That's automated. So we have these little bags at the checkout, and when someone spends a lot of money, we give them the bags. Another thing that's kind of working, I'm hoping it's working. I'm not sure it's going to work, but I like it because someone else is doing it. Is I reached out to a rep. We have a German pathology rep for our company. Quantum is the one we use, and he is handing out like these little one-pagers, I call them, on Swift. So he's like doing it for me. He's like being a rep for me. And another person, there's a vein clinic that I'm friendly with that I send patients to, and there's like reps that go around for this vein clinic. And I'm like, if they can have a rep, we should be able to have a rep. But I don't have a rep. But he goes around and does that for different doctors, and then he hands out my one-pager to the other clinics that he's visiting as well. So those are kind of creative ways for you not to do this stuff, but to get results. I haven't seen much results from that yet. I'm hoping to see more results. And then the last thing that really brings in a lot of results is I always ask patients, everyone that comes in, I say, well, where do you come from? So, some are coming from primary cares, and that's great. We're sending the primary care notes, but most of them are coming online now. And some of them, like, have seen YouTube videos. They may have just Googled doctor, and they're finding us because we have high rankings. They may have found the Google reviews because we have a lot of Google reviews. So online reviews has really helped us out a lot, and we have multiple methods of doing those. Most of them are automated, like when patients make an appointment online, they actually get something to ask them to do a review. Most websites do that now. We use something called Patient Education Genius that sends in an online review. So these are different ways. As you can see, like, all of the ones that are really working, in my opinion, they have to work. They don't involve me. Like, the only one that involves me is the newsletter, and everything else are like automated. So that would be my key for you, is to do other types of activities that would bring in results that really don't involve you. Okay? Hope that's beneficial. If you have any other ones, email me, don@podiatrypracticemastery.com. I'm trying to help you get to the $1 million mark. I am halfway through like this $1 million mastermind. I have this group of people that I'm kind of posting different numbers. They're posting their numbers, and it's kind of working out well. So I'm thinking about expanding this. If you guys are interested in being part of something like this, the idea is it's a small group, probably, I don't know, 5 to 10 people, depending on how many but it needs to participate. And you post stuff, like, so you post like how many patients you saw each day, you post your numbers each month, and then I ask you what you're going to do to bring your practice to the $1 million mark. Like, what's one action you're going to take? So basically, it's an accountability, and it's on WhatsApp, which I like, so you don't have to like spend nights and weekends and do this stuff. Okay. Once again, if you're interested, email me, and hope this is beneficial. Thanks.